So this is my first After Effects 2023 video. This video is designed for anybody who has never used After Effects before. I'm going to be going over the layout and the workspace and just using some of the keywords which you may find helpful along the ways. So let's get straight into this. This is the first time I've opened After Effects 2023, so if you're like me, you'll see a landing screen that looks a little bit like this. When you start to build out projects in After Effects, you will see your projects appear in this area. But for now, I'm just going to make sure I'm on Home and click on this Create New Project. So we've got some handy tips coming up here for the certain plugins that are built into After Effects, but this is typically what your After Effects should look like. I'm using After Effects on a Mac. On the PC, it'll look very similar, but there might be some different keyboard shortcuts. So where I'm using Command, obviously on a PC, that would be Control. So this is the After Effects layout. It's fairly simple when you get used to it, but some things to note first off is this system does use tabs much like a web page, so you might find that there are multiple tabs at points in your project which are open on this side, in the middle here, and anywhere else around here as well. Even your timelines, you can have multiple compositions open, so you can be working on multiple timelines in this workspace as well. So yeah, a little bit of jargon there for you. Firstly, timelines. When I refer to a timeline, it is this section at the bottom here. Your timeline, as it might suggest, is the area that you are going to be creating your effects, motion graphics, and whatever the audience is going to see, you'll be creating and altering all that here in the timeline window, which is this box here. This window in the middle is your main viewer. And essentially, whatever you can see in here when you are working on a project is what your audience is going to see. And this is noted as the composition window because we work in compositions within After Effects. On the left-hand side here is your project space, and this is typically where you'll create your compositions, import your footage, or your logos or motion graphics that you might have pre-created already, and that will all live in this left-hand side here. And on the right-hand side, and many different tabs for you to monitor certain areas. The more important one that you'll be using with me a lot of the time is the effects and presets. There are also some tools up here, and each one of these tools can be assigned to a keyboard shortcut. It's really important when you are working in After Effects that you keep your eye on whether or not it's changed these tools if it's not working the way you expect it. So a quick one is just to make sure that the selection tool is selected. You can also use V on the keyboard, which is a keyboard shortcut to choose that. So if ever you're finding that the workspace isn't responding, maybe you've selected a different tool for the job. And that's pretty much it for the layout itself. Obviously, we've got some other options up here to change the layout and things like that. I usually find that the default layout is fine, but if you do want to change this, you can go to Window, Workspace, and you can change it depending on what you're doing, so animation, motion graphics, and what have you. I like to keep mine in default and then just customize it myself. You can save that as well, as you can see at the bottom here. But if you ever do make a mistake and move a window by accident, you'll find that even hitting Command Z or Control Z, if you do move something, Control Z and Command Z, by the way, to undo something that you've done. You'll find that you can't do that if you move windows, so if you ever mess your design up by accident and you want to reset it, just go to Window, Workspace, and Reset Default to save layout. A good thing to think of when using After Effects is imagine that everything that you do in After Effects will alter the course of your project, so if you do ever get stuck, please don't start clicking and Control-Zing everything because it might undo or just not respond the way you expect it. I always find if you're clicking on something and it's not working, the less times you click, the better off you'll be if you've done something wrong to undo what you've done. But that's just my opinion. You know, as you get faster in After Effects, you'll find it a lot easier to navigate. So that's pretty much it for the for this first video. The next video we'll look at building a project in a new composition.